Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yesterday I made a video on Scott Ritter, who was prevented from leaving the United States of America, and his passport was taken away from him. So according to Scott Ritter. Now Scott Ritter was a former Navy intelligence officer in the US military, and he's retired, and he has his podcast. He's invited in different podcasts, including Sputnik uses him, uses his assessments, or Russia Today, or this is our how should I put it, a no. So he was banned from, he couldn't travel, and his passport was taken from him, his personal belonging. You can say, well, that's a governmental ID and so on. Yeah, but I paid for it. You can't just take it whenever. Well, it seems like they can, because as a former intelligence guy, certainly, he falls under different rules. Obviously, you can't just go wherever you want if you are a, how should I put it, an asset, or at least a person who might be able to, divulge certain confidential information to other actors. So I just said this in defense of these imbeciles from the Daily Beast, who give us a different spin to what happened. And with the media, we have two choices in the United States of America. Maybe, let's say three, barely three. One, the guys in the media, some of them, are simply dumb, useful idiots. The other one, they are really traitors to their country. I'm talking about to the citizenry, to the population, to the nation, which means they are working for someone else against the interest of a nation in general. And the third one, they simply, are fair and understand what's going on. Now, that the last bracket, the last group, I left it for last, because what I'm talking about here is one of the two. Either these guys in Daily Beast are useful idiots, or they're part of the guys that don't work for you and I, work for someone else that really has doesn't have the US interest at heart. And not only US, I'm talking about the US nation, not the guys in charge of the US. So what's going on here? This article is from June 4th, 2024, and this is the title: Moscow throws Putin fanboy Scott Ritter under the bus. So Scott Ritter is a fanboy. Reportedly, or at least Scott Ritter thought that he was banned from traveling, and his passport was taken by the orders of the Secretary of State Department, because he was about to attend the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, and he was a guest speaker over there. So you can't have that. As a free person, you can't have that. All right, so these guys are calling Scott Ritter a fanboy. I think this fanboy does more positive things for the American nation than Daily Beast ever did so far. But it's okay. Scott Ritter is a good guy. Daily Beast is part of the enemy of this good guy. So let's read this little article and see what kind of interpretation and what kind of words these guys use for Scott Ritter. This is the gentleman, or the man. I don't know if he's a gentleman or not. I listened once or twice, and a long time ago, and he was invited to other podcasts. And yeah, I think he has logic, and he fights for the United States of America, not for Russia. What is Daily Beast fighting for, or who are they protecting? Former United Nations weapons inspector turned sex offender Scott Ritter has made a name for himself parroting Kremlin's propaganda about the war against Ukraine. So the first paragraph, the first long sentence, is aimed to destroy his credibility and his character. Did they succeed? Not with me. You can be a sex offender. If you say something smart, I will take what you said. right? So you can see a criminal, but if you show courage in something, I don't care if you're a criminal. Courage is courage. Doesn't belong to you, to me, or to Scott Ritter. But hey, these guys are targeting the baboons of our society, therefore they can afford doing this. There are many readers of Daily Beast. But if he was hoping Moscow would back him up after he says he was barred from traveling to Russia because Washington is, quote-unquote, afraid of him appearing at the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, he was apparently sadly mistaken. This is Daily Beast's interpretation, that he hoped that Moscow will back him up. Moscow can do what the law allows them to do. And obviously, they're not happy with the situation because they invite the guy accepted. But the problem is these guys create the problem, create the issue. He's upset and the Russians don't help him. They just dropped him like a hot potato. All right, let's see what these guys are saying further. While Ritter and his supporters, including Russian media, and not only, but hey, they limited only to that, so you understand Russia bad, therefore he's bad by association, have played up the notion that his passport was seized because he has the US administration shaking in their boots. The Kremlin did not share in this hysteria, because it's no hysteria. You make the hysteria. You, Daily Beast, you give the spin as if, oh my God, they're shaking in their boots. Obviously, if the State Department sent 3 guys to follow orders to seize this guy's passport, remove him from the plane and his luggage, and bar him from leaving the country, does that show that they're afraid? Yes, they are. Would they do that to me? Not yet. But wait. I had my own experience, not as dramatic as this guy, but I'm not always happy when I travel to Germany, for instance. Or let's say I land in Poland. Or maybe France. Why? Because I said certain things that those guys did not like. I'm not big, as he is, but nevertheless, if they prevented him from leaving, that means they have a little bit of an uneasiness with him. No? Asked about the scandal, Tuesday, Vladimir Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov played down Ritter's claim. He told reporters the, quote-unquote, details the situation were not clear, and that there was nothing unusual about a former intelligence officer facing certain travel restrictions. That's how an adult speaks. I don't like Peskov. I don't dislike him, but I don't think he's... I've seen better, much better. But he's okay. I give him a 6 from 0 to 10 on a scale of many, But nevertheless, but what he said was logical, was adult-like. Well, we don't know. Maybe, he has his own restrictions. But I don't think he has no restrictions only with Russia. Did Scott Ritter ever leave the United States of America since he got retired? I think he did. So why now? That song, Why Now, My Love? Yeah, Elvis. This is, and I'm quoting, this is practiced in almost all countries in relation to former intelligence officers, end quote. And he said, we don't know the details. So why jump the gun? Wait. He added, however, that if Ritter truly was thrown off the flight to stop him speaking in Russia, then it was part of a, and I'm quoting, frenzied campaign to prevent US citizens from establishing at least some contacts with Russia. Remember, some could, maybe, however, we don't know yet. Ritter famously visited Chechnya in January. So he left the country. He was not banned. And delivered a pep talk in broken Russian to thousands of troops who've been waging war in Ukraine. Bad dudes, okay? So he's bad dude. So he's already had plenty of contacts, apparently even with Russian leaders sanctioned by the West. Okay? Now, the State Department has declined to comment on the status of Ritter's passport. Ritter, who was convicted in an underage online sex sting in 2011, told Kremlin-controlled media on Monday that he was pulled off a flight on his way to St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, where he was slated to speak. They took my passport, I'm quoting, when asked why, they said orders of the State Department, end quote. He told Russia Today, later claiming that the real purpose, quote unquote, of the move who was to deprive Russia of its presence. And I'm quoting, they stuck it to the Russians, end quote. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told reporters at the press conference on Tuesday that there is nothing Moscow can do to help Ritter. And I'm quoting, there's not a Russian citizen. He is not a Russian citizen. Again, adult behavior versus our media, in this case, these guys from Daily Beast. I know you're going to say, well, Daily Beast, Emil, they have an audience, my friends. They are sponsored. They are financed. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All the article shows one side whatsoever. Not for us. I would like to hear what Scott Ritter has to say in St. Petersburg. Why not? What do you think he's going to say? He's going to tell us the location of the whatever Navy location somewhere in South China Sea? I don't think so. Anyway, now, he was convicted of online sex sting in 2011. Who was that lately? Who was the guy who said, oh, Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson said that these guys in Congress, he had a guy invited to his show now, not previous show, and the guy over there said that the guys in Congress, our elected officials, are terrified to be found how should I say it for YouTube? To have the same kind of conviction, and they're afraid that FBI will or CIA will implant certain things in their computers. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying what the guy said. Look further for that, and you're going to find out exactly what he said. Are terrified. That tells you that if these guys want to find something in my laptop, they will find whatever they put in it. Now, put in it. So, I don't know what happened over there, but I think that Scott Ritter should go and talk if he is invited. What do you think? He's going to disclose the locations or confidential information? I don't think so. He already went to Chechnya, so he was already debriefed over there, don't you think? If is the case. This is the media, my friends, and the media works against us and against them. But hey, they think they're protected. For now, they are. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.